Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. In this video, we're going to take a look at adding and subtracting decimals. The key in adding and subtracting numbers that contain decimals is to line up the decimal point in each of your numbers. So for example, if I was asked to add these two numbers, it doesn't matter how many digits we're dealing with. What we're going to do is we're going to line these numbers up so that their decimal places are in the same place. Once it's lined up with the decimal point in the same place, then we can add and we keep our decimal point in that position. Now, if there's no digits here, that just means that the digits are 0. So you can put them in if you want. Remember that when you add regular numbers, you always start on the right and move left. We're going to do the same thing with decimal values. So we have 1 plus 0 is 1, 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus 5 is 7, 0 plus 0 is 0. Let's take a look at some more examples. It doesn't matter how many numbers we're adding. We're going to line up the decimal point in each of those numbers. So we have 0.6 plus 0.85 plus 0.0012. So if you want, you can put zeros in these other place values, and then we can add 2, 0 plus 0 plus 1, 0 plus 5 plus 0, 6 plus 8 plus 0 is 14, so we put a 4, put our decimal point, and we carry the 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. So that would be the sum of those three numbers. So it's just like adding regular numbers. Just make sure you line up your decimal point before you start. Let's do a couple of examples of subtracting. Our next example is 10.506 minus 0.0218. In order to subtract, we do the same thing we did when we added. We have to line up the decimal points in each number. So I'll have 10.506 minus 0.0218. There's no digit here, which means the digit is 0. Starting on the right and moving left, we subtract. So we want to subtract 8 from 0. We can't, so we have to borrow. We borrow from the 6, and it becomes 5, and that number then becomes 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. 0 minus 2, again, we can't do that subtraction, so we need to borrow. When we borrow a 1 from the 5, it becomes 4, and this becomes 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 minus 0 is 4. 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. So my result would be 10.4842. Let's try one more example. So first step, we line up our decimal point in both numbers. Let's put zeros in where there's no digits, and then we're going to subtract. Starting on the right, I can't subtract 6 from 0, so I need to borrow from this. Oh, I don't have anything to borrow from here, so I have to borrow from here. Oh, I don't have anything to borrow from here, so I have to borrow from here. So this becomes a 0, this becomes a 10. Then when I borrow from the 10, it becomes a 9, this becomes a 10. When I borrow from the 10, this becomes a 9, and this becomes 10. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. 0 minus 0 is 0. My decimal point, 0 minus 0 is 0. So my answer would be 0.0764. Try to get as much practice as you can with adding and subtracting decimals. It's basically like adding and subtracting other numbers. You just have to remember to line up your decimal points in all of your numbers. In the next video, we'll talk about multiplying decimals. So when you're ready, I'll see you then.